Hi. Question I get asked quite often is ADHD a learning disability? And why is there this narrative that ADHD is a problem with language processing, dyslexia? Why is it a problem of difficulty learning? Why is it because a child has difficulty succeeding at school, difficulty with maths, or coordination problems, bad handwriting, difficulty with their fine motor coordination? And parents often think of ADHD as a problem with school work and think about ADHD as a learning disability. And I can understand why, because often the reason that children are asked to see doctors is because of difficulty at school. The reality is that most of the children I see are because of the teachers having difficulty with children. It can be behavior, it could be emotional difficulties, it could be social problems, it could be difficulties with completing work, chatting in class, disrupting the class, and it impacts learning. So I'd like to dispel the fact that ADHD is not a learning disability. But ADHD doesn't travel alone. It likes buddies. Almost 80% of children with ADHD are going to have other problems, what we call comorbidities. They are things that get associated with ADHD. And there are about 25 genes that code and give ADHD, because ADHD is a genetic neurochemical problem in most cases. There are some exceptions. So the genes that give you ADHD, in other words, there's a hugely increased chance that one or both parents have ADHD. And if a child is adopted, often that genetic component's not known. So for parents, I'd like you to think of the fact that ADHD's got nothing to do with difficulty with schoolwork, although it can impact schoolwork. But the genetics that give you ADHD, those 25 genes, are also responsible for other problems. And that can include anxiety, mood, depression. It can also be because of difficulty with language processing, dyslexia, dyscalculia, bad handwriting, developmental coordination difficulties, motor tics, Tourette syndrome. All these things can get associated with it, but it's not ADHD. Now, it goes without saying, unless we treat all the other problems that go together with ADHD, we're not going to be able to help that child at school. And if the child gets the right help for ADHD, if they're focusing, attending, have better relationships with friends, are able to function at school and at home without too many criticisms, getting nagged at, we get their eating, their sleeping, their exercise, treat anxiety, treat all those other problems, then they're able to learn. So I like to think of ADHD as, your child's going for 5 days a week at school. And remember, if we don't treat their focus and concentration, it's like you sending their body to school, but not their brain. So if a child's body's there without the brain for 2 days, it's like missing school for 2 days a week, and that's like missing 40% of the school term. So imagine your child missing school for up to 3 to 4 months a year. They're not going to do great. So if we don't treat the ADHD and we don't treat those associated problems, your child's not going to be able to really unlock and fulfill who they are. And remember, ADHD has got nothing to do with intelligence. A child has the ability, but is unable to unlock and do it. They know what to do, but they can't actually do it. And often parents say, that have ADHD, start off doing one thing. I know I should be doing all these things, but my phone gets opened up. I'm on TikTok. I'm reading an email, and then I think in my mind what I should be doing, and I rush out and do that, and I come back, and the day is this kind of all these windows open on your browser and not being able to complete anything, and it's a sense of overwhelm. So ADHD can look like it's a problem with school and productivity and problems with learning. It's not. So when you think about your child at school and the teacher approaches you and is worried, don't necessarily think that your teacher is trying to persecute your child or has a problem. They're trying to help you. They're trying to help unlock your child. Sometimes we've got to have an expert opinion look at everything. I mean, even today I saw a child where they have allergies, they have asthma, they have difficulty sleeping, they can't breathe at night because of all their sinuses blocked up, they have poor sleeping, so that child is not going to function with energy and concentrate the next day. And then I've also seen a child recently who seems to zone out, where the child actually had an assessment and the psychologist actually picked up that this child possibly wasn't there but there. And you know, when I was just chatting to the child, you could see, talking to them, they were zoning out. And everybody thought they had a auditory processing problem, but actually they have epilepsy. Not petit mal epilepsy, a form of epilepsy that is on the go all the time and is not able to kind of allow that child to focus. So you need to make sure that you go to the right people, get the expert opinion, because your child deserves to be able to function. And ADHD is one of the most treatable conditions in the human brain. And if you get the right diagnosis, get the right help, get the right understanding, it helps you as a parent kind of unlock your child.